He's my dad. He gives good advice, and that's why this special episode of the Matthew West podcast is called Dadvice.
He is my dad, and he gives good advice, and that's why this segment is called Dadvice.
Dad, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Matthew. It's always good to be at the Story House.
Rumor has it you have a dad joke that you want to start us off with.
Yeah, we need to laugh these days, and I keep saying that. And here's a good one. Why did the farmer name his dogs Rolex and Timex?
I don't know why.
Because they were watchdogs. Like it?
Yes. Very good. Very timely joke. Get it?
Yes, I get it.
What are we talking about today? I know you've been kind of delivering devotional thoughts on the theme of Unashamed, which is a song that I've got out on the radio right now.
Yes.
Are we staying on that theme?
Oh, yeah. It's touching so many people. I feel we need to get all we can out of it while it's just so prevalent. I wanted to share this text that I got this week. It says, the person said, I wanted to share some good news. You can let Matthew know that 99.1 Joy FM station from St. Louis plays Unashamed a lot, and even said that it may very well be the new anthem of the year.
Love it.
Isn't that powerful?
That's cool.
Our key verse today is going to be Romans 1:14, and we're going to zero in on the word debtors. And Paul said, I am debtor both to Greeks and to barbarians, both to wise and to foolish. Another translation said, for I have a great sense of obligation to people in both the civilized world and the rest of the world, to the educated and the uneducated alike. The definition of a debtor is a person who owes a debt or has an obligation. The Apostle Paul considered himself a debtor to others, to those who had not heard the gospel. And let's look at three things we can learn from this verse here. Number one, Jesus paid our debt. Paul's debt was paid. Our debt was paid. Jesus paid the price for our salvation. A powerful hymn that we sang, Jesus paid it all to him I owe.
I was just thinking of that hymn. Yeah.
Were you? Yeah, it's powerful. Sin had left a crimson stain. He washed it white as snow.
That's good.
And then Colossians 2:14, he canceled the record of the charges, our debt against us, and took it away by nailing it to the cross. Another hymn, he was nailed to the cross for me. He was nailed to the cross for me. On the cross crucified, for me he died. He was nailed to the cross for me. A good quote here, Jesus' sacrifice on the cross was the ultimate act of love, nullifying the debt of sin that stood against humanity. Secondly, we are all debtors. Because Christ paid our debt, we are debtors to the lost. In our key verse, Paul said, I am a debtor both to Greeks, to barbarians, both to wise and foolish. Well, Paul was saying that he owed everyone the opportunity to hear the message of the gospel, no matter who they were or where they were from. And thirdly, if not us, then who? If not me and you. Kind of borrowed some lyrics from a song called Do Something. Romans 10:14 and 15, here's what Paul said. But how can they call on him to save them unless they believe in him? And how can they believe in him if they have never heard about him? And how can they hear about him unless someone tells them? And how will anyone go and tell them without being sent? That is why the scriptures say, how beautiful are the feet of the messengers who bring good news. My dadvice for today is to be reminded that we are all debtors. Christ paid our debt, and now we are indebted to share the good news to everyone every time we have an opportunity. If not us, then who?
I love that. The fuel for our being unashamed is the reminder that he is the one who has taken our shame, that he was not embarrassed of us, that he does not ignore us. We owe a great debt.
Yes, we do.
And yet he has paid that debt for us. So that's a great word. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dadvice. And my dad and I have a nonprofit ministry together called Pop We. Many of you who listen are supporters of our ministry, prayer partners. Our ministry is doing some great things to tell a lost and hurting world that there's hope in Jesus and there's hope for your story. So go to popwe.org today to read some powerful stories and testimonies. You can share your story there. You can sign up to receive a free weekly email devotional straight to your inbox. You can send a prayer request and know that a whole bunch of people will be lifting you up. And our ministry is supported by incredible, generous monthly supporters. And if you'd like to become one of those, we would love to welcome you to our team. So go to popwe.org today. Thanks for listening to Dadvice. It's your story for His glory. See you next week.